Mr. Lee has reached out. He wants to take on the whole Iowa, LeBlue area. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what we got going on for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Mike, it's an honor to work with you this year. You know, helping people and kids is a good thing, and so we're really proud to work with you.
This one's going to be a little different, guys. In Iowa, over at Mallett buildings, you're going to stay in your vehicle. You're going to pull through. It'll have a little scenery set up. In Iowa, you're actually going to get some gumbo. We're not doing that in the Lake Charles area. Lee's agreed to take on and help feed people out here too. So gumbo, toys for the kids. We're gonna do newborn all the way to 18 years out here. We're gonna have something for everyone from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. out here, Mallett building. Thank you so much for everything that you do for everybody. Have a great time. Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Mike, thank you for getting us involved. Folks, have a Merry Christmas. We look forward to doing this project with y'all, and we're gonna have a good time.
Hi everyone, Michael Boyer, Small Sliders, Lake Charles, coming to you guys. Everyone knows about our Christmas cheer toy drive that we're doing in Lake Charles area. Mr. Lee has reached out. He wants to take on the whole Iowa, LeBlue area. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what we got going on for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Mike, it's an honor to work with you this year. You know, helping people and kids is a good thing, and so we're really proud to work with you.
This one's going to be a little different, guys. In Iowa, over at Mallett buildings, you're going to stay in your vehicle. You're going to pull through. It'll have a little scenery set up. In Iowa, you're
Hello, Lee Mallett from Mallett Buildings. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I always like to start out talking about community service. Unlike my competitors who do it once a year, we do it every day. While we're on the subject, we also have our referral program, and we're always sending out checks for our referral. People who come here, if you buy a building, if you don't buy a building, we'll pay you $200 if you tell your customers and they come here and buy a building with us. We've been doing that for years, and we do a lot of it, and it says a lot about the fact that we have that many people that send referrals. So let's start off today with giving back. Well, no, we're going to start off with this thing. I keep telling you, I got to show it to you every time. Go ahead.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower clear.
You think them tubular people are upset with me? I hope they are, because I can't make that up. But folks, you don't want to buy no tubular stuff. But I guarantee you, I bet when they see me do this, they're like, man, this guy should have never got his hands on that video, because I'm going to keep playing it, because I'm trying to show you why you don't want to buy that junk. Now, let's go to the next slide. All right, like I told you, getting back to giving every community service. We don't do it once a year. At least they do it once a year. The rest of them don't do it at all. I'll give them credit for that. At least they do it once a year. But we do it every day. Every day we give to military personnel, healthcare workers, educators, first responders. $500. Buy a building with me, I'll give you $500 off that building. Where's my... They don't like veterans? They don't like healthcare workers? They don't like educators and first responders? They could match me, you know. Why don't they? Why don't they give back to the community like we do? They could. That's why you ought to give us a chance before you give them a chance, because we do think for them. We do things for them. That's what separates us. Not only do we build the best building, have the best workers, the best team, been in business the longest, we give back. They could. They don't. What's it say about it? I think it's an important factor. Besides building the best building, I think it's very important that we give back. Next slide. Then, they don't do this either. Hey, I'll give you $1,000, type cash on there. You come by that building, I'm going to give you $1,000 because you watch me and you talk to me on this presentation. I come on here every day. I offer that to every customer that wants to buy a building with Mallett Buildings. Every day, every day, every day, just like we do community service every day, we're going to give you a special every day. We're also going to give you $1,000 for coming and signing the contract here at the facility. I want you to come meet us. I want you to come meet my team. I got a great team of people. We've been doing this 26 years, and we have the best builders, we have the best logistical people, the best delivery crews, the best salespeople. We got everything. We got everything. I don't have salespeople. I forgot. I got building specialists, okay? And their job is to help you buy your building. Now, keep going. Today, I'm going to go ahead and tell you we got a new sale. This is the weekly sale. This is the value building. I sell this building because this is what my competitors build. They don't build an elite. They don't even build a signature. To that, Charlotte, but we're going to talk about this building. But hey, $29.99, 30 by 50 by 12, $39.99 for a 40/60 by 12. And if you come in, I'm going to give you free and roof and wall insulation, and $1,000 to come in here and sign and meet at the team, and you get $1,000 Tiger Cash by typing up cash. I don't see anybody else competing with us. We're going to give you the best deal. Remember that. You want a willing deal? Deal with the owner. You ain't got to deal with all those yo-yos. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to beat them all day long. Now, the real building that I tell you I'm recommending that you buy is the elite building. This is a 30 by 50 for $46,999. Regularly $51,999, but I took off $3,000 because that's my Christmas special. $1,000 Tiger Cash, that brought it down to $46,999. This is the best building in the industry, built by the best people, by the longest company in the area, or the Southwest. And on top of that, after getting the best building, the elite building, I threw in a foam package and an electrical package. Value of $25,000. Well, you're going to say, well, how can you do that, Mr. Mallett? Well, let me tell you what we do. I have my own installation machines, and I have an electrical contractor. They can't compete with us. You see, over here, we're constantly trying to be better at what we do, whether it's improving the building or getting more license so we can create more, do more for you. Working on a plumber, about got that done. Working on air conditioning guy, about got that done. Now, what's going to happen with my competitors when I start offering electrical, air conditioning, and plumbing packages in your accessory buildings? That's where we're headed. Compare us to our competitors. Our competitors aren't trying to improve. They're stuck in that same old hole, just offering the same thing. I mean, I'm telling you, we're the best. I have the best team. I have the best people. I have the best builders. Everything here is the best, including the best building. So this building is the building I'm recommending you buy. This is good till Christmas. We've only got, what, a week and a half. I put this building together because this is the building you need. You get what you pay for, folks. Look, the reason why this building costs $46,999 is because of what's in it. If I go back to the other building, well, keep going. I think you keep going next one. Okay, look at this. See all these gold dots? Go to the next one. I think he's got it. No, he didn't put it in there. Well, there was 3 more slides I needed. I would have done a comparison, but that's okay. So this is the value building, which is a good building, and I build a value building even better than their building. I promise you we do. But anyway, I'll sell that to you if that's all you're looking for. But if you're looking for the best, if you want the Mercedes of the building industry, it is the elite building. If you want the Pinto, I got you one. It's your call, your money. You can do whatever you want. But this is what comes with the elite building. And let me tell you something. When you look at this building, 2x8 scissor trusses. Nobody else in the country that I know of puts a 2x8 scissor truss on their buildings. Nobody, to my knowledge, in the United States of America, is putting trusses. I don't know many of them putting 3-foot truss spacing. Standard. Not because of engineering. Standard. And let me tell you something about those trusses. Every truss that we build, whether it's a value, signature, elite, wind load rating 145. Across the board. That's how we build. We don't build trusses to spec like, well, that building's only 130. No. My standard truss in every building I built, 145 miles an hour. Standard. The others don't do that. They're not trying to, I'm going to give you 145 on my value building, I'm going to give you 145 on my signature building, and I'm going to give you 145 on my elite building, the trusses. Now, while we're talking about that, let me explain something to you. Do you know that the trusses are stamped by an engineer, and the building is stamped by another engineer? You really need 2 stamps if, in fact, what my competitors are telling you they're doing, to say it's a 145 mile an hour wind load. Because our trusses are manufactured and stamped by engineered trusses who do trusses. Our building is engineered by an in-house engineer. You got two groups, that's two different stamps you need on this building. Because the person who's stamping the building is probably not even looking at the truss. Doesn't have their software. That's why you got two sets of engineers. 6-inch concrete, control joints, post protectors, insulated windows, gutters. I go on and on. Look, and on all my buildings, if you buy a building with me, you got my cell number. You can call me. I'm customer service, and I'm going to take care of you. Next slide. All right. So right now it might be tight. I don't know, but you can still come get your building. Look, we got a plan. $3,000 down, 18-month price protection, 3 months extensions, 0% interest for as long as you want. That building is locked in. That price is never going to change, and your dream building is coming, folks. You can come buy that building today with that little down payment, and you're now going to have your building, or it's ready to go until when you say, I'm ready to go, because you're going to pay as little or as much as you want. You can pay till it's paid for. But we're not going to sit here and charge you no interest, but we're going to lock in that building for you. You know, in the real world, the banking world, they would charge you interest on a construction loan. Nobody locks in prices like this. We're willing to do that at 0% interest. Pay as little or as much. It's up to you. We're trying to help you as much as we can. Next. All right. Yeah, I've had two people try to tell me these prices are high. That's silly. I challenge them to tell me where you're going to buy these buildings for this price. Now, let me take that back. You might find some tubulars. And I'll show you why you don't want to buy that deal. I've already showed one once. I'm going to show at least maybe twice more. Tubular is not the answer. But I'm telling you right now, you compare it to steel, we're going to beat their price. And I'm going to build you a stronger building because I'm going to, do you have the slide on the, let me see the next slide. No, you didn't put the slide with Mueller? No. Okay. Well, the steel people are going to sell you a 1 and 12 or 2 and 12 pitch. I'm going to sell you a 4 and 12 pitch standard on this kit. That alone, if they had to put a 4 and 12, right now we beat their prices. Here we beat them by a couple of thousand. Here we beat them by 5,000 or 6,000. But you call any steel people and say, well, no, I want to go 4 and 12. That price of that steel building is going to go up exponentially. Whereas here, it's standard on my kits. Okay, all treated lumber, lifetime warranty against termites, fungal decay, and rust, and termites. Okay, the steel people can't give you no rust guarantee. We can because our frame is made out of wood. Okay, next. So today what I'm going to do on our I guess whichever you want to call it, huh? Sure. The show is about the history of post frame construction, transition from poles to posts. You know, a lot of people still say, well, I build pole barns. Well, I don't build pole barns. I never did. I built post frame. You say, well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is, put on the picture, that's a pole. That's not a post. A pole is round. A post is square. Okay? So we build post frame. But when you say a pole, that's it's round. And it's not dimensional. You can't get any engineering on that thing. And they're not dimensional. That they go all over the place on the dimensions. So let's talk about it. So in the 1390s, the earliest post frame structures used utility poles. That's what that was. Salvaged from power companies as vertical supports. That's how it started. They were widely available, inexpensive, and already treated to withstand weathering. Utility poles were round and irregular, which made alignment and uniformity a challenge in construction. That is how it all started. As you can see, this is what started this. Now, one thing leads to another. Next slide. Challenges with utility poles. Lack of consistency. Each piece varied in diameter, causing issues with structural precision. If you ever when you drive and look at a telephone pole, you'll notice that they're smaller at the top and bigger at the bottom. They're not dimensional. It changes. Okay, and so it's hard to get it true and square. You got to do notching, and it wasn't a pretty sight. Limited load bearing capacity. Poles weren't always capable of bearing heavier loads, especially in large scale or commercial buildings. As construction materials like metal siding and roofing gained popularity, the irregular shape of poles made it hard to create seamless connections. Now we're getting to what really happened. So by the 60s, advancements in engineering materials led to the use of rectangular posts, pressure-treated wood posts, as a replacement for poles. I build post frame. I don't build pole barns. If you see somebody advertising pole barns, they haven't figured out they're not selling pole barns. They're selling post frame. Who you got here? Oh, Tim Tack is here. Here's a post. Square, dimensional. A pole's not. So, low distribution surface contact. The rectangular shape of posts allows them to have flat surfaces that provide full contact with connected structural elements, resulting in better stability and even distribution of forces throughout the structure. So imagine if we had a pole and if we had a post and I want to put my girts on them. My post is true. It's square, it's flat. So when I apply my girt, it's easy to put. Whereas on this pole, I don't know what the real diameter is. Where I'm setting it, it could be out a little bit from the top to the bottom. Is it? Did I already talk about that? Yeah, go to the next one. All right. Uniform cross-section stability. Since poles have natural inconsistencies in thickness and in shape, their structural integrity varies along with their length. This inconsistency creates stress concentrations at thinner points, which can weaken the overall structure and make it more susceptible to buckling under the load. Next. Stress and load-bearing capabilities. Posts, which is what we build, post frame, resist twisting and bending forces more effectively due to their symmetrical shape and even distribution of the mass. Lateral forces from wind and uneven loads are more easily managed by the uniform cross-section of a post, which spreads out these forces. What we're telling you is I could never engineer a pole barn. It's not dimensional lumber. There's no data to back up the engineering, whereas in a post, there is. It is a true dimensional. Now, a 5x5, which is what you saw years ago, being built mainly by your Oklahoma builders, also would not engineer. It's not a dimensional lumber. The post you get in the lumberyard is dimensional lumber. A 6x6 is really a true 5.5 by 5.5. And the data is there to engineer that. There's no data on a 5x5. So, and it's not true. It could be 4.5 by 5 in places. It goes all over the place. So, the National Frame Building Association, which I'm a member of, formed in 1969, helped standardize the use of posts instead of poles. Laminate posts introduced in the 1980s. MCA replaces other chemical treatments in 2004. Mallett Building leads the Louisiana industry to this day. All right, so when I talk about we lead the pack, we do things that others don't do, I want to give you a little history about what happened when I got in this business 26 years ago. 26 years ago, people were buying mainly post frame with 5x5s, 2x4 purlings, 2x4 girts, and they're mainly coming from out-of-state people like Oklahoma. When I got in 26 years ago, we did several things. One, those posts were going completely in the ground, and we started visiting a lot of shows, and I saw the post protector, which solved our problem. Because now we knew that when we anchored a post in the ground, 4 feet, that was stronger than anchoring something with an anchor bolt. It's still true today. Now, the manufacturer came with a lifetime warranty against that post, against fungal decay, rot, termites, all that, rust too. But as a way to put people's mind at ease, we found the post protector, which is basically a casing that goes over the whole post from the bottom, top, okay? Post goes down in it, that goes in the ground. Now it has no contact with the earth, has no contact with the concrete. That was probably the turning point in really seeing post frame, in my opinion, really start going after the steel boys. Because prior to that, what they would say was, oh, that post is going to rot, it's in the ground. Well, I put the post in the ground, but it's not in the ground. And so that was one of the first things we did. Since then, when we start talking about the elite building, they were stick framing or stick building all these trusses in the field. We went to the engineered truss, and some of the others did too. And everybody was using 2x6 trusses, okay? Actually, some were using 2x4s. We got into 2x6s, and then we went to the 2x8 trusses today. So we transitioned from 2x6 to 2x8 on the elite and the signature building. The value still carries the 2x6 because that's what my competitors do. They're not trying to build the best building in the world. We are. 9-foot truss, no, 9-foot post spacing. You got this mixed up. This 9-foot post spacing, not truss spacing. Everybody's putting 10. We went to 9. Okay? Our truss spacing went from 5 to 3 on the Elite and the Signature. Okay? And we introduced the post protectors. We were the first people to screw all our buildings together instead of nailing. Okay? At one point, I saw builders that were nailing the roof on with nails. That's a fact, and they would leak. But that was Oklahoma. We went to 6x6 posts, got away from the 5x5s. Everybody started changing and went to that as we did that across the country, not just here. We went to all treated lumber. We were the first ones to do that across the country. Nobody else started that except us. The cable retention is something as we designed that years ago because of uplift and because of the hurricanes in our part of the world. I ain't figured out what the 4x5 framing is. Who wrote this? I don't know what that is. I'm being honest with you, but I'll figure out what he's talking about. Over here, over here is control joints, which go standard. We're the ones that came up with that too. We now put that standard in all of our Elite buildings. Okay? That's just the history of what's occurred here. And in the last 26 years, Mallett Buildings has surpassed all of its competitors and has created all the new things that we talk about in this presentation, which tells you that we are always trying to improve and come up with things that separate us from our competition and sell you the best building for the best value that we can possibly put our hands on. Next. Okay, steel and tubular. What's the next one? Okay, I talk about this all the time. We just saw where I told you all the things that we do, and I tell you that every one of our buildings is anchored 3 to 4 feet into the ground in a post protector. This is a problem, folks. See right here? See, the post is inside of an encapsulated piece of material that has a 500-year lifespan. I'm anchored 3 to 4 feet into the ground. Then my slab, the grade board will come, I'm going to put a slab up here, okay? The wind has to twist all these posts simultaneously in a storm. It will not rust. It will not rot. The problem you have over here is this anchor bolt is the only thing holding that tubular building down. This is the only thing holding that steel building down. They may be a little bigger, but they're still bolts that hold it down. You can put all these columns all you want. They're no stronger than that right there. This is what you better watch. The problem with that, and I hope that's what the next slide is this. You just saw how they anchor the steel building and how they anchor the tubular. This is a 2-year exposure on black iron, galvanized iron, stainless steel. As you can see, over the 2 years, the deterioration here started. It got way worse with this, and this is what they mostly use. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They went to galvanized. Look what happened. Deteriorating at a high rate also. Oh, well, they're going to use stainless steel. Okay, that's the stainless steel. It is already starting to deteriorate after 2 years. What is this going to look like in 10 years? That. It'll look like that. This will be gone. This will be gone, and this is about to go. So when that wind hits that building, go back up that one slide. Imagine now that you've looked at the pictures of the bolts, imagine if these bolts are deteriorated to a 5-year, 6-year, 7-year level. And depending on what screw it is, and it doesn't matter, and 150 mile an hour, 180 mile an hour wind like Laura hits it, what do you think is going to happen to this building? Or this one? It's gone. Got nothing holding it down. You know, in stick frame construction, it's the same problem. Because what they do is they'll put a bottom plate, 2x4, 2x6, and they're going to drill a hole, and they're going to, when they pour the concrete, they're going to do the same thing they did here. Same problem. So, okay, go ahead. That's good. That's good. Next one. So, I can't even put tubular up there because it's so ridiculous. But let's compare steel to wood. These pictures tell you the difference in the construction, type of materials, and how much materials are being put in the building. If you look at this steel building, look at the distance in the girt, how far apart they are. Okay? Still got a problem down here with these anchor bolts. But look at the distance of the girt. Look at the distance in our girts, every 2 feet. This is going to be every 3 to 5 feet. Surely you have to agree with me. This is stronger. Why? I think I got quite a bit more screws holding that metal on that building. I got twice as many girts. These are 2x6s. You're not going to have near the screws. And let's face it, this, you know, these frames, we put these frames together until you put the cladding, you have no strength. So when we start talking about adding all that metal on the verticals behind these 2x6s with twice as many screws, it's a lot stronger, folks, because the cladding is now screwed with twice as many screws as the steel. Now, let's talk about the ceiling. These are 2x8s. Look how far apart their truss system is. It's 15 to 20 feet. I got a truss every 3 feet. That means I'm carrying 6 to 7 truss for every 20 feet to what they're doing. I'm going to have 5 or 6 times the number of trusses at 3 feet as the steel building. And this is typical steel. It really is. Look at the number of trusses. It doesn't, you know, the eyes do not deceive you. It's a stronger building. It can take more. You know, in the old days they would stick build them with pieces of wood or this or that. This is all engineered stamp plates we make on the trusses and we build them here. So these are engineered. These are engineered too. But the problem I have with it is rust, anchoring system. And if you want to close this baby in, like a lot of people do, for barnuminiums, commercial, whatever it is, you're typically going to build a wood building inside the metal building. That'll cost you twice as much to deal with this. Whereas over here, you're dealing with wood to begin with. You're going to stud up between those walls. You're going to attach right to the truss. This is much more expensive. It's much more expensive just to begin with, not to mention what I just told you, that if you put an office, if you close this baby in, it's going to cost you a fortune compared to that building. Okay, next slide. Well, here we go. I'm going to tell you again, this is why I keep telling you about this tubular metal. I can't make this up. Go ahead.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Power clear.
It's good. Now, I'm telling you, they must talk about me every day about me praying this. Well, but I can tell you right now, you don't want this. I can't make that up. I mean, folks, do you really want to deal with something like this? If you live in Louisiana or Texas, East Texas or the Gulf Coast or Mississippi or whatever, you're asking for trouble. That was a 70-mile-an-hour wind. It wasn't 150. And you saw what I saw. Calm that baby. Look, it wants to show again, but I'm going to hold it back on y'all. So anyway, don't be deceived by that tubular. But let's talk about something else I talk about every time, and I think it's very important. Do your research. Do your due diligence. Years in business, these are the red flags. I have 5 red flags that can keep you out of trouble with these contractors. Years in business, go to Secretary of State, tells you how many years they've been in business. It also tells you who the proper parties are. Go see what the licensure is by the LSLBC. Just type in LLBC. It's going to take you right there. Go to find your contractor. If he's not in there, don't buy it. Don't use him. That ought to be another red flag. If you can't find him, don't use him. If you find him, make sure he's a state licensed residential contractor or commercial, depending what you're doing. Then you go over here. How many times has he been convicted? How many times has he been convicted? You're going to find out right here at the LSOB site again. Serious red flag, and I'm going to show you why it's a serious red flag in a few seconds or minutes. Go to the reviews of your BBB and Google. I have over 500. I don't think anybody can compete with me, but go take a shot. If they don't have a lot of reviews, it's a red flag. Visit the contractor's facility. I'm going to show you some people. Had you went and seen their facility, odds are you'd have never bought from them. okay? You can tell a lot about this because what the majority of them do is they ride around in a brand new pickup truck. And they make you believe that there's something they're not. But you ought to go see their facility. I'm willing to pay you $1,000 to come see my facility. That's right, I got a $1,000 sign bonus. If you come here, I'm gonna give you $1,000 off the cost of your building. Why? Because I want you to come visit my facility. I want you to come meet the team. I want you to come be at ease. I can't believe anybody want to spend $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $100, $150, $200,000 or more and not come see the people you're doing business with. They don't want you to. I do. Because if you ever do and then go visit them, you're going to be right back over here. I promise you. I know what they're doing. Next slide. All right, this is the new one. The lady yesterday sent this to us. Thank you, ma'am, for doing that. We're gonna go ahead and play this right now, and we'll be.
First on Fox Report, we told you about a local contractor accused of taking people's money but doing little or no work. Well, tonight we learned that that contractor is charged with felony theft in 4 counties. Fox 26's Randy Wallace joining us live from the Southwest side with the latest on this exclusive story.
Yeah, Rashi, Michael Hurt, DBA Texas Custom Barns, now has theft charges filed against him in Harris, Brazoria, Matagorda, and Galveston counties, with more criminal charges expected.
He's very charismatic. He's very charming. He can sell you something.
And make you think you're going to get it.
More than 60 customers of Michael Hurt's Texas Custom Barns have similar stories.
The story that he told me, there's another victim that heard the same story a year ago, verbatim, exactly what I was told.
Angela Walkett brought her to our attention last February. She got a judgment against him after all she got for her money was a pile of dirt. She soon found scores of other victims.
You have teachers, you have a preacher, you have law enforcement. I mean, he has no morals at all.
Are you kidding me? This guy's still doing this? I mean, there's no telling how many other people are out there. Mine started in 2007.
Diana Pennington Russum says she was duped by Hurt 15 years ago.
These other people deserve something. We all do. We deserve for him to be in jail.
Never did, not one thing for her. Had an excuse after an excuse.
Elizabeth Munoz says her 25-year-old daughter gave Hurt more than 17 grand with nothing to show for it.
It's heartbreaking as a mother. You know, it's heartbreaking, but you know, she'll recover. She's strong, smart, and we'll get past this. We're just hoping that there will not be any more victims after this.
One excuse after another as to why he couldn't work on our project.
Very frustrating.
Zena and Mike Alcorn say they've been dealing with Hurt for 2.5 years, and their home isn't even halfway done.
He's a con man, for sure. He's good at what he does, which is take people's money so he can live free.
Now, Hurt has been forced into bankruptcy, so victims are hoping to get some of their money back. Reporting live from the Southwest side, Randy Wallace, Fox 20.
Well, now you see why I try to get you to check the red flags. That's a new one that popped up. A customer, or not, well, I think she is a customer. She sent this to us yesterday, and so we added it to our forte of stuff about this stuff, trying to prove to you that you have to be careful who you do business with and understand that it's important you check the rid flags, or things like this can happen to you. Now we'll go to the next one, and that was Texas Custom. Now, okay, all right. This guy. We keep getting this stuff. We'll keep showing this because I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to be factual and tell you what can happen to you, and I'd like to keep that from happening to anybody. Okay, this cat got charged. I don't know if he's been convicted yet, but he was charged. Now, go to the next slide. Had somebody done their due diligence and followed the red flags, what would we have found? He's only been in business like 4 years. 4 years. He's been convicted. He's not a licensed residential contractor. That's 3 serious red flags. This is the most serious. Next one. Another guy. He pleads not guilty, but look what he's charged with. Go next one. More contractor fraud, folks. Go to the next one. These two, this one was operating out of his truck. This one was too. They didn't have no facilities, neither one of them. there's a red flag. They've been convicted. They got charged with contractor fraud. They hurt a lot of people. And if you don't check the red flags, this is what can happen to you. It's serious, folks. Go to the next slide. All these people have been convicted of contractor violations, breaking state law for contractors. And as you can see, Southern Style Barns and Buildings is at the top. You got S&S Building, Precision Metal, Ranger Buildings, Beck Industries, Reed's Metal. You can spend your money wherever you want, but I'm going to tell you right now, this ain't good. It's not good. It's not good at all. And you stand a chance of having to deal with problems like this. And let me tell you something. You start a construction project with these cats, and they get turned in or they get caught, they're not going to be able to finish your building. They're going to be told to cease and desist because I'm chairman of state contractors. Want to know exactly what's going to happen. They will not be allowed to complete the project. I don't know how much money you'll have given them, but guess what? You got a problem. Now you got to go find a contractor to come finish what they started. That's going to be hard to do because most contractors are not going to want to take over someone else's work. You need to be very careful of what I just told you. Be careful about these guys. These guys have only one thing in mind, to try to put them as fast as they can without getting caught if they're not licensed. But you don't know what kind of work you're going to get with someone. If they're willing to do this, what kind of work you think you can get out of them? Next slide. So remember, we give back to the community every day. How? Military personnel, $500. Healthcare work, $500. Educators, $500. $500. Now, my competitors don't do this. They could. I've been doing this for several weeks. I haven't seen them step up to the plate. So I ask you to consider us, not only because we got the best building, because we've been in business the longest, because we're an A+ rating with the BBB, because we have the best team, we also give back to the community. That's why. And we would appreciate that consideration. Because you're not going to find a better builder that's been in business the longest as me. Remember, I'm pushing this because this is the best building. I'm trying to tell you my opinion, my recommendation is this is the best deal dollar for dollar because I'm going to give you them 2 free packages. Remember, $46.99 you get the elite building, the best building in the country, the best, bar none. Nobody builds this building. Nobody. Nobody. This is the best. So I have the best building, I have the best team, I have the best people, we have the best materials, and we're the best company that gives back to the community. Come see us. This sale will be over with Christmas Day. So you only got about 7 or 8 days. Don't pass this one up because this is worth $20,000, $30,000. So if you want to buy a building, this is it. And look, if you can't buy it now, come lock that baby in. Hey, you can come put $3,000 down. That's your building. We're going to build it. When you're ready, you can, for 0%, you're going to put up whatever you want to put up. But that building is yours. You're going to get all these things. You're going to lock that building in. It's yours. Guaranteed. Hard to beat that deal, folks. You either come buy it now if you got the cash. If you don't have the cash and you're going to get it next year, come lock that baby in now. You ain't going to find a better deal than this. Next. We got the special. That's our value. That's my Pinto. Why? This is what my competition sells. And they don't build them as good as us. But we'll sell those to you. $29.99 for 30, 50 by 12, 40 by 60, $39.999. But we will knock off $2,000, signing bonus, cash, and you get free roof and wall insulation in both buildings. If that's what you want the economy, what I call the cheaper building, this is your baby. If you want quality and value, the best value money can buy, it's the elite building. I'm telling you. I've been doing this for 26 years. Next. You can always get to Tiger Cash. Type Tiger Cash, and I'm going to do that. Well, I don't know, Mr. Mac. I don't know who you are, sir. What is this? This is a presentation of post-frame construction. I'll tell you what it is. All right. You can come here and do the Mallett Savings Plan. $3,000 down, 18-month price protection, 3-month extension, 0% interest. Pay as little as much as you can. you can get your dream building today and pay for it at 0% interest for as long as you want. We're going to work with you. So when you want to buy a building, give us a call. Giving back to the community. This is what we've given back to the community in the last 26 years. Every year, we give back to educators, we give back to kids, St. Nicholas Center, we give back to the Whistle Stop. I just did the Christmas Cheer Toy Drive. We put $10,000 in there to give 250 families from 6 to 8. It'll be about 250, are going to get free gumbo dinner and a toy for their kids. That's what Mallett Buildings does. Mr. Barry, that's what we're doing here. What we're doing here, sir, is telling you what Mallett Buildings does. Now, none of my competitors do this. They could, but we do, and we always will. Next. So, I hope you enjoyed the presentation today. We're on here every day at 4 o'clock. You can ask your questions. I'll respond. My personal cell phone number is always available. When you buy a building from me, you get my personal cell phone number, which is 337-515-2154. I am customer service. Or you can call one of my building specialists at 337-214-0428. Look, we have been around 26 years. We build the best building. And some of the buildings I build, nobody else builds. And they're built for our area, for the South. A lot of buildings that come down here are built from the North, like Oklahoma. That building is not built for down here. It's built for the Midwest, where they don't have the moisture we have, don't have the termites we have. Okay? So look, I've enjoyed talking with you. I'll be back Monday. Y'all have a great weekend. Hey, we're open till Saturday. We're open Saturday, every Saturday till noon. We'll stay here if you need to afterwards, make an appointment. Hey, after church, we'll come on here Sunday. And look, I got a 24-hour building specialist who will 7 days a week. You want to buy a building, we're going to work around your schedule. Well, I'm glad you're in there, Barry. I'm happy for you. Tell me what you're in. I'm in too. But look, give us a call. We want your business. We want to earn your business. So thank y'all for listening. Hey, have a nice weekend.
Hi everyone, Michael Boyer, Small Sliders, Lake Charles, coming to you guys. Everyone knows about our Christmas Cheer Toy Drive that we're doing in Lake Charles area. Mr. Lee has reached out. He wants to take on the whole Iowa, LeBlue area. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what we got going on for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Mike, it's an honor to work with you this year. You know, helping people and kids is a good thing. And so we're really proud to work with you.
This one's going to be a little different, guys. In Iowa, over at Mallett Buildings, you're going to stay in your vehicle. You're going to pull through. It'll have a little scenery set up. In Iowa, you're actually going to get some gumbo. We're not doing that in the Lake Charles area. Lee's agreed to take on and help feed people out here too. So gumbo, toys for the kids. We're going to do newborn all the way to 18 years out here. We're going to have something for everyone from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. out here, Mallett Building. Thank you so much for everything that you do for everybody. Have a great time. Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Mike, thank you for getting us involved. Folks, have a Merry Christmas. We look forward to doing this project with y'all, and we're going to have a good time.
Hi everyone, Michael Boyer, Small Sliders, Lake Charles, coming to you guys. Everyone knows about our Christmas Cheer Toy Drive that we're doing in Lake Charles area. Mr. Lee has reached out. He wants to take on the whole Iowa, LeBlue area. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what we got going on for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Mike, it's an honor to work with you this year. You know, helping people and kids is a good thing. And so we're really proud to work with you.
This one's going to be a little different, guys. In Iowa, over at Mallett Buildings, you're going to stay in your vehicle. You're going to pull through. It'll have a little scenery set up. In Iowa, you're actually going to get some gumbo. We're not doing that in the Lake Charles area. Lee's agreed to take on and help feed people out here too. So gumbo, toys for the kids. We're going to do newborn all the way to 18 years out here. We're going to have something for everyone from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. out here, Mallett Building. Thank you so much for everything that you do for everyone.